All right, welcome back to another 2021 MLB draft show. Tonight, we've got one of the more projectable arms in this class. We're really excited to talk to Jackson Baumeister here out of Jacksonville, Florida. Jackson, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. I mean, we're always looking for new talent to get on the show, and obviously, we're hearing really good things about you, specifically as an arm. So I'd really like to just open the floor to you. Kind of tell the viewers, tell future fan bases, tell big league organizations, anybody that's watching, who is Jackson Baumeister as a baseball player, and then maybe secondly, as a pitcher?
So I grew up playing baseball, started at 2 years old, and I instantly fell in love with it from there. Baseball has always just been something that I use as kind of to get rid of the bad stuff, just go out there and have a great time, lose things in my brain and just focus on baseball and just really have fun with it. If you see me on the field, 90% of the time I have a smile on my face, mostly just because I'm out there having fun. And as a pitcher, I also catch, I hit, I play outfield. I can really do a lot of stuff besides just pitch. But in terms of just on the mound, I'm a loose guy, very flexible. I love my fastball, and then I have some pretty good off-speed stuff too.
Nice. Well, you've actually got something in common with another arm that is kind of moving up draft boards here the last few months, Thatcher Hurd. Thatcher's more of a West Coast guy. You're an East Coast guy. You both enter June 2020, Perfect Game National. You guys are both catchers. You move out behind the plate, do some work on the mound for scouts. It's a live, loose, whippy arm, kind of a funky, long levered delivery. What was it like for you going from, what you thought maybe catcher would be your future to all of a sudden scouts really want to see what you can do from the bump?
So I really started pitching my freshman year. I wasn't much of a pitcher before that. I was more of a kid that could throw hard, and it was fun to put him up on the mound and see what number he could hit. But I really fell in love with the art of pitching and the minute things that you can tinker with to ultimately open up completely new doors to the game of baseball. But I guess developing as a pitcher is the biggest part for me, having not pitched in my early years and really just sort of breaking the iceberg right now. But pitching for me is just an entirely new part of the game that I'm just so in love with already.
Well, let's talk about some of the minutia. You've got a baseball. I'd love for you to kind of introduce to the viewers your pitch arsenal, or what it is right now. Your fastball, your slider, your curveball, anything that you've got in the tank. Let's see it.
So I throw a pretty traditional mix, 4-seam fastball right there, 12-6 curveball, circle changeup with a modified grip. I'll go back to it in a second. And then a slider that I really started working on in October. It's pretty new to my weaponry, but I'm starting to get more and more comfortable at each day. So with the fastball, the biggest thing for me is that's different from other pitchers is when I throw the ball, my thumb is completely underneath the seam right there. And that really helps me get that sort of late life in the zone. So you see a lot of times I'll go to a high fastball, either up and in or up and away, and it messes with guys because of the spin rate at the top of the zone. And the 12-6, again, just kind of a traditional one. I like it to keep hitters off balance. And then the ultimate equalizer is the changeup. And I got a weird motion. It started off as a circle change.
That's different.
To throw the 3 fingers on top to really just get as much downward bite as possible.
So did you originally have the pointer finger underneath to try and pet it off that ring finger?
Basically, it started out as just the traditional the star grip, and ultimately moved the 3 fingers up on top of that lace. And then once I sort of started playing with the thumb with the fastball, and when I ultimately made the switch to go down under, it followed with all the other pitches. The curveball is the same way. The thumb's on the complete opposite side. Same with the changeup, completely underneath.
That's fascinating. I love that grip. What kind of action do you get on when you release that changeup? Because you're pretty much over the top. So is it just a tumbling changeup?
So it really just I'm doing my best to tunnel with the fastball at all times to, again, just kind of deception type thing. And so really staying on top of the changeup, and especially with this much spin on the ball downward, It's
Hmm.
just fluttering down and away from left-handed hitters.
Okay. So you're a vertical four seam guy. Is the 12-6 curveball your go-to, kind of mixing that mirror up?
Absolutely. I feel like I can throw my curveball for a strike one in any count to any hitter.
Okay.
So it's definitely my go-to.
Well, how about velo? Because one thing that we see a lot from pitchers, especially when they, someone like yourself that is really deciding to commit to it, they see a pretty big velo spike, 2 or 3 miles an hour in that first 4 or 5 months. Where's your fastball at right now? Because you were low 90s in June.
So I'll typically sit in the low 90s, and every once in a while, from what I've seen, I'll get up anywhere from 4 to 5 in terms of 94, 95. But I like to live in the low 90s. I'm a very low effort guy, really just trusting my mechanics and ultimately using more funk than I'm going to overpower you.
There you go. I like it. You understand yourself. That's good. Um, well, let's talk a little bit about tech because it's become a huge part of pitching. Do you get on the Edgertronic? Do you get on the Rapsodo? How much tech do you integrate into your training?
So unfortunately, there's not a huge supply of baseball next gen technology in my area.
Mhm.
So I haven't been exposed a ton to it. I have seen it definitely with the summer ball circuit and things like that. The Rapsodo and the hit tracks being integrated into the game. But really, I think once I get in front of that type of technology, the game will open up a whole new door.
So that's something that you are open to, that you'd kind of like to integrate into your game down the road with more opportunity.
Absolutely. You see pretty much, I mean, you don't go to a single major league facility and not see that type of technology.
Right, right. Well, I know somewhere that you are going to have access to that technology, and that's going to be Florida State. You committed to Florida State quite a while ago. What drew you to Florida State, and what are you most looking forward to?
So I was born a Florida State fan. My dad went to Florida State, and it started from just going to football games as a kid, and I fell in love with it. They were my first choice coming into high school, and I was at a camp and going into my freshman year, and they offered me, and I accepted it on spot. It was easy number one.
Nice, nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about last summer because you did a little bit of everything last summer, but you did face some hitters. I want to know, in facing some of the best hitters in the country, is there a guy that really stood out as a difficult at bat, or that just seemed kind of different than the rest?
Not necessarily, but there is one person in the world that I really just struggle with getting out, and that would have to be my teammate Jackson Mayo.
Mm,
He's a South Florida commit, and we've grown up together. We started playing baseball together, I think, at 11 or 10, and really have never stopped. Same summer team, same high school team for the last 10 years,
mhm.
and he just has a knack for barreling me up, I guess.
Is Jackson related to? Wait, not Jackson. Is Mayo related to Kobe?
No, sir.
Okay, same area of the state, so that's definitely a coincidence, I guess. Okay, so let's talk about the other side of the coin. You got a chance to bat against quite a few good arms last summer too. Anybody that stood out?
I would have to go with Andy Painter. I
Hmm.
faced him at East Coast Pro, and I have to say it was a pretty quick at bat.
Yeah, Andy will do that to guys. There's a
Hmm.
reason that he's on the top of a lot of boards.
And he's
Okay,
another one of those Florida guys that I've grown up playing with. I've played against him since I was 12 years old, I think.
yeah, we've had Andy on the show. He's a really good dude. He's got a bright future as well. Okay, so let's jump into kind of the next steps. So you've got 4 months until the NFL before the MLB draft. Maybe you'll get drafted into the NFL. Who knows?
Who knows?
Um, in terms of the draft and in terms of setting yourself up for your freshman year at Florida State, how are you looking to grow and specifically develop here over the next 4 or 5 months?
Obviously, add weight, add mass, really just get as strong as possible, which obviously I've put a priority on since the beginning of high school. But I think just additional years is just additional more chances to add strength to your frame.
Hmm.
But in terms of like a baseball side, it would definitely be refining my pitches as well as arriving at FSU or wherever I may end up and getting in front of that new technology to really just grow my game.
Eager to learn. I like it. Okay. So let's talk one last question, maybe two here. We're getting up on 10 minutes. You've probably gone through a million Zoom interviews now with big league organizations, and I like asking guys this question: What's the strangest question that you personally received in those kind of introduction interviews?
There was one. I'm not sure if it was a Zoom or a questionnaire, but it
Hmm.
was. Do you put your peanut butter in the fridge or in the pantry? That was probably the strangest one, and I have to say I'm a pantry peanut butter guy.
That's the right answer. I'm telling you, man, sociopaths put their peanut butter
Cold
in the
peanut
fridge.
butter is just too hard. How do you even spread cold
How do
peanut
you
butter? It
spread
doesn't
it?
make any
Yeah, I don't
sense.
know. Does the peanut butter separate from the oil in it? Like, that's not a
Exactly.
road I'm willing to go down, but to each their own. You're actually the third or fourth guy to say that, so you're not the only one.
That's
All right, well,
funny.
last question for you. I kind of keep you on your toes here. Being that you are from South Florida, I got to ask the question. You get two options here. So for the rest of the time, Pitbull can sing every single song ever made. That's the only thing you get to listen to for the rest of the time. Your other option is every other artist in the world gets to sing only a Pitbull song.
I would have to do only Pitbull songs for every other artist. I
Is there
can't
a
really.
Pitbull song you got?
Not a big Pitbull guy, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit of changing it up here. Get some different voices in on it. Well, hey Jackson, I mean, it's been really nice having you on the show, man. We're obviously rooting for you over here at Prospects Live. I think you've got a really, really bright future, whether that be at Florida State or in the MLB draft. We're definitely going to be watching and rooting. And hey, man, go get him this spring, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.